Cats have a reputation problem. Dogs are easy to understand. Leave a dog alone for 10 minutes and it acts like you've returned from a dangerous expedition. The excitement is impossible to miss. But cats are very different. They ignore you for hours, stare at walls for no apparent reason, and occasionally look at you with the same level of interest they show a chair. Which raises an interesting question. Do cats actually love humans? Or have they simply figured out that acting cute is an effective strategy for getting food, warmth, and shelter? For a long time, scientists weren't entirely sure. Part of the reason is that cats are unusually difficult to study. Unlike dogs, which evolved alongside humans in highly social groups, domestic cats descended from largely solitary wildcats. Their ancestors didn't rely heavily on cooperation or pack living to survive. As a result, many researchers assumed cats merely tolerated us. But over the last 2 decades, scientists have started taking feline behavior much more seriously. And the evidence they've uncovered paints a different picture. The challenge is that cats don't show affection the way humans or even dogs do. To understand whether cats love us, we first need to understand how cats show affection in their own world. One of the strongest clues comes from a behavior called allo-rubbing. If you've ever had a cat rub its head against your leg, hand, or face, you've seen it. Most people assume this is just territory marking, and technically it is. Cats have scent glands around their cheeks, forehead, and chin that release chemical signals called pheromones. But here's what's interesting. Cats don't only do this to objects, they also do it to cats they like. Researchers have observed friendly cats rubbing against one another to strengthen social bonds and create a shared group scent. In other words, when your cat headbutts you, it may be treating you less like furniture and more like a trusted member of its social circle. Another surprisingly important behavior is slow blinking. You may have seen this before. A cat looks at you, slowly closes its eyes, then opens them again. It seems insignificant, but among animals, voluntarily closing your eyes around someone requires trust. You're temporarily lowering your awareness of the environment. In 2020, researchers found that cats were more likely to approach humans after exchanging slow blinks with them. The results suggest that slow blinking functions as a form of positive communication between cats and humans. Many owners call it a cat smile. That's probably a little simplistic, but it does appear to be a signal associated with comfort and trust. And trust turns out to be a recurring theme. One of the most important studies on cat-human relationships came from Oregon State University in 2019. Researchers adapted a psychological experiment originally designed for human infants called the Secure Base Test. The idea is simple. When young children feel secure around a caregiver, they use that person as a safe base from which they can explore unfamiliar environments. The researchers wanted to know whether cats behave similarly. Surprisingly, many did. Around 65% of the cats tested displayed what psychologists call a secure attachment to their owners. When their owners were present, they appeared more comfortable and confident, exploring unfamiliar situations. That doesn't prove cats experience love exactly the way humans do, but it strongly suggests that many cats form genuine emotional attachments to specific people. And there are plenty of other clues. For example, many cats choose to sleep beside their owners. From an evolutionary perspective, sleep is one of the most vulnerable states an animal can be in. You're unaware of predators, unable to react quickly, and largely defenseless. Choosing to sleep near another individual is therefore a significant act of trust. If your cat regularly sleeps on your bed, beside your legs, or even on your chest, it may be demonstrating something much deeper than simple convenience. Then there's the behavior many owners know all too well, being followed everywhere. You get up to go to the kitchen, and the cat follows. You go upstairs, and the cat follows. You close a door so the cat can't follow, and what does it do? It sits outside like a disappointed security guard. At first glance, this looks like dependency, but animal behavior researchers often interpret it as social monitoring. Your cat is paying attention to the movements of an important member of its environment. And interestingly, many cats continue doing this even when food isn't involved. Grooming provides another clue. Cats spend enormous amounts of time grooming themselves, but they also groom individuals they share strong social bonds with. This behavior, called allo-grooming, helps reinforce relationships between friendly cats. So when a cat repeatedly licks your hand, arm, or hair, it may be extending that same bonding behavior toward you. Admittedly, sometimes your skin just tastes interesting, but repeated grooming is generally considered a positive social signal. Then there's perhaps the strangest display of feline affection. Gifts. Many cat owners have awoken up to find a toy, a sock, or in some unfortunate cases, a dead animal waiting for them. Scientists still debate why cats do this. Some researchers think it may represent a form of social sharing or caregiving behavior. Others have different interpretations. Whatever the reason, one thing is clear. Cats direct these gifts towards specific individuals. They're not leaving dead mice randomly around the neighborhood. They're bringing them to you. Perhaps the strongest argument against the idea that cats are purely self-interested comes from studies comparing food rewards with social interaction. The stereotype says cats only care about whoever fills the food bowl. But when researchers tested this idea, many cats actually preferred interacting with humans over receiving food, toys, or scents. Not every cat, but enough to challenge the popular image of cats as furry opportunists running an elaborate scam. The reality is more complicated. Cats are individuals. Some are extremely affectionate. Some are independent. Some become deeply attached to one person, while others spread their attention across more evenly. But taken together, the scientific evidence points in a surprisingly consistent direction. Cats aren't merely tolerating humans. They form attachments. They seek comfort from specific people. They trust us enough to sleep beside us, groom us, follow us, and use us as a source of security when they're uncertain. So, do cats actually love humans? That depends on how you define love. If you mean the complex human experience involving language, self-reflection, and abstract thought, we simply do not know. But if love means forming lasting emotional bonds, preferring someone's company, seeking comfort from them, trusting them, and showing behaviors associated with attachment, then the evidence suggests that many cats probably do. They just have a very strange way of showing it.